Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Joy News today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV, channel 421 and Go TV, channel 125. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, Attorney General says the cross-examination of the third accused in the ambulance trial, Richard Jakpa, has exposed the lies and deception of the NDC. We will tell you why the first accused, Dr. Kasiela Toforsing and Richard Jakpa, are before the Court of Appeal. Also, after months of rigorous negotiations with creditors, the finance minister promises a flourishing economy, including a stable cedi and investor confidence, plus a 1.5 billion cedi bailout to customers affected by the banking sector cleanup. But even before the good news sinks in, economists are raising eyebrows.
See a short-term stability, but then the reality will dawn on us when we receive the IMF inflow and at the same time we start servicing our debt.
Plus, newly laid affirmative action bill suffers setback in Parliament as former minority leader Haruna Idrisu says the bill is replete with unconstitutional provisions.
Affirmative action bill that sits well with the 1992 Constitution, or we want to pass an affirmative action bill, probably not too sure that some aspects of the bill may offend Article 1(2) of the Constitution.
We'll take you to Parliament, where there is a strong push to pass this bill before the tenure of this Parliament expires. Plus, we'll tell you about the call for one man, one woman in marriages and the opposition to it. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X Spaces at Joy News on TV. My personal handle is @Denana Aisha. Please do stay for details. The Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfred Yabuadame says a cross-examination of the third accused in the ambulance trial, Richard Jakpa, has exposed the lies and deception of the opposition NDC. The conduct of the Attorney General is in question following the release of a telephone conversation in which the AG is heard discussing the merit of the case with Richard Jakpa. The recorded conversation and WhatsApp chats have since been admitted into evidence. Addressing a town hall meeting with some Ghanaian residents in the UK, Godfred Dame said the cross-examination has exposed the motive of the accused.
When it comes to, as far as I'm concerned, in every facet of national life, the DPP government has outperformed the NDC. Even speaking about my own ministry, when I assumed the mantle as Attorney General in 2021, the ministry had, the Legal Aid Commission, which is under my ministry, had only 4 vehicles. The last of which was acquired in 2006. There's another institution called Council for Law Reporting. They had only 2 vehicles. The last of which was acquired in 2008, and all of it within MVP time. In 2021, by the kind instruction of the President to the Finance Minister to assist me, 91 vehicles were acquired for the Ministry of Justice. Beyond that, the office has had 8 office accommodation challenges for God knows how long. Papa Wiswan Kuma, High Commissioner, was Attorney General from about 2003 to about 2004. Precisely, that's the year I was called to about 2003. And I visited him when I was SRC General Secretary. I visited Papa Wiswan Kuma in 2002 to pay homage to him. Not knowing in future, I'll be assuming the same seat. So, in order to address the accumulation challenges, the MPP government, with all the foresight and vision that it had, led by Nana Akufo-Addo as Attorney General in 2001, commenced the construction of what we call the Law House, a new office accommodation for those Attorney General. Attorney General, after Nana Akufo-Addo contributed, Papa Wiswan Kuma came to contribute. Right after NDC assumed office in 2009, the project, as we can all imagine, was abandoned. We came back again. My boss, former boss, Gloria Kufu, also contributed and all that. By the time I assumed office at Attorney General, the building was 36% complete. Today, the building has been completed and commissioned last week. A building that was started by Kufu in 2008. It took the same Kufu again to come and complete it. So I'm saying that we should resist all the lies, deception, and deceit of the NDC. And indeed, that's their stock in trade. And I personally, I can attest to that. You can, yes, we've been around. We're in Ghana, and of course, we've been in UK. My brother who lives in London called me anxiously last time he entered a barber shop. He said, talking about the Attorney General. They didn't know that the Attorney General's brother was next in line for his head to be cut. And all that. So what's happening? This young gentleman that they admire and all that. But again, the lies, deception, and the deceit of the NDC was at work. And within a matter of 2 days, when we started our cross-examination of the person who was spreading all those lies, you see how the matter is going. The case has come, as the president will say, case now turns. So indeed, we should resist the deception, lies, and NDC. They'll come with all kinds of visitation about every major action or step being taken by this government. And therefore, we should go on the. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Attorney General.
Well, I've been joined by Richard Jakpa. He's head of Legal Affairs Secretariat of the NDC. How do you react to this accusation by the AG, ADG?
As usual, our Attorney General does not appear to appreciate the gravity that his misconduct has caused that revered office. I mean, you see, you would expect that at this critical moment, the Attorney General will be sober and would have a very deep sense of reflection. But you won't have any from him. This is an Attorney General who, from 1992, no judge, I repeat, no judge had reason to strongly advise an Attorney General on what he should do or what he should not do. Today, he has obtained a dubious distinction as that Attorney General who had to be advised by a sitting judge on what he should do. Instead of him demonstrating humility and apologizing to the people of this country, he's out there engaged in theatrics and sophistry. Who is telling a lie?
What Richard Jakpa and the NDC are saying about him are palpable lies. That's what he's saying, and deception.
This is a man who has been in Ghana. He could not state that the voice that the NDC played, right, was a deception and that it was not his voice. He now goes to London, and what does he say? Blabbing? Look, Aisha, in court, when the lawyers for first accused decided to have the audio recording, right, tendered in evidence, the Attorney General, acting through the Director of Public Prosecution, raised an objection. What was the basis of the objection? It has nothing to do with the fact that the content of the tape, right, or the recording is a lie. Rather, they were saying it wasn't relevant, insufficient foundation has not been laid, and that now, even listening to this carefully, and that the Attorney General was recorded in violation of his rights under Article 18.2. Now, this same man now goes to London and says it is a lie. What part is a lie? What is it that he has done under cross-examination against the claim made by Richard Jakpa? It's regrettable.
I'm grateful for your time.
By now.
Right, so that matter is still in court. We'll see how that unfolds because that has also been admitted into evidence. Definitely we'll get more on this from the court when it sits on the matter the next time. Richard Jakpa is head of legal affairs of the NDC. Let's move to Parliament, where it has taken years for the much talked about affirmative action bill to reach the floor of Parliament. But barely 2 weeks after the House started considering its provisions, the bill has suffered a setback. Former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu argues several provisions in the yet-to-be-passed legislation are unconstitutional and will be struck out by the Supreme Court if passed. The bill pushes for equitable election for males and females to Parliament and instruct the Electoral Commission to ensure political parties comply. We'll hear from the Tamale South MP shortly. First, listen to Ranking Member on the Gender and Children Committee, Helen Adjuantoso, who says this provision is important to ensure fair representation.
Ghana was ranked 147th position out of 193, which is very bad. So without legislation to address cultural, economic, and political gender imbalances, I think we'll not be able to achieve, especially the SDG Goal 5. So the committee, we have worked tirelessly since the sixth Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Your committee has worked tirelessly for this year's past. So where we have gotten to, Mr. Speaker, is as a result of hard work. So we just want to encourage colleagues that this is a serious bill that the world have to support, because they shouldn't forget that females constitute 51.2% in this country. So if we're talking about equity in political positions, likewise decision-making processes, that women will have to have equal representation, we are very right. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to again urge members that we've gone a long way to get to where we have gotten to. The Constitution has not helped us.
But former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu says enacting any such law without first amending the Constitution will be unlawful, insisting political parties cannot be forced to field female candidates in parliamentary elections.
It reads, the Electoral Commission shall ensure compliance with the provisions of this Act by political parties. We are here, members of Parliament. We are all elected by political parties on the ticket of political parties to contest as members of Parliament. The law in the Constitution, if you are to quote Article 94 or any other right, that confers a right on me to vote and be voted for. How can the Electoral Commission regulate political parties that there should be parity of women? Maybe we should rather come and amend the Constitution. So, Mr. Speaker, that's why I asked the question. Yes. Should we amend the Constitution before proceeding with an affirmative action law for Ghana, or have an affirmative action law that will have trouble sitting with the 1992 Constitution? I dare ask, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, let me narrow to the political parties. Yes, political parties can morally say that in Ashanti, we want to dedicate more seats to women because we likely can project that they can be members of Parliament. Another political party can say in Volta region, in Rwanda, in Kenya, is that many of the women are appointed to Parliament, not elected. Yes. So if Ghana wants to learn, let's learn well. It is not, you cannot legislate. It's a competitive election. Tamale South, Adaklo is open. Whether male or female, go and run a competitive election and come to Parliament. That is what the Constitution provides.
The bill also requires that media houses portray females in a positive light. Another provision, Haruna Idrisu says, is unconstitutional as media houses and journalists are granted the freedom over their editorial policies and not subject to any external control.
The primary question I'm asking, which or what should proceed what? Should it be a constitutional amendment proceeding before we consider an affirmative action bill that sits well with the 1992 Constitution, or we want to pass an affirmative action bill, probably not too sure that some aspects of the bill may offend Article 1(2) of the Constitution. Strategies in relation to employment, and it reads, promote the employment of pregnant women, even the wedding. Promote the employment of pregnant women. Why? If you were already in employment and you are pregnant, you can be protected. But if you were pregnant, and we say that, Mr. Speaker, page 32, promote the employment of pregnant women. How do you promote the employment of pregnant women? So even when we come to it, by this provision, you are saying that pregnant women should be employed. What is even more worrying is that in this bill, they refer to independent constitutional bodies. Which are the independent constitutional bodies? The Auditor General, Electoral Commission, National Commission on Civic Education, Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. These are all independent constitutional bodies. And Mr. Speaker, I just take you to National Media Commission and page 27 of the bill. Mr. Speaker, it reads, the National Media Commission shall take appropriate measures to ensure that, Mr. Speaker, these are my words. No, these are the words in the report. Women are portrayed positively in the media, and that stereotype. So you cannot put this in this law, in a law, and say that a media house has a duty to portray a woman positively. The woman must merit positive reportage if she behaves positively, like any other man.
Meanwhile, there was controversy on the floor when Deputy Minority Whip Comfort Doyo Kuju suggested that one way to achieve gender equality is to ensure one man is to one woman in marriages, a position some male MPs disagreed with. Listen.
But nobody is going to take over from a man. Mr. Speaker, the only thing that we achieve this equality is marriage. One man, one woman. One man, one woman. Marriage, that's all. In Ghana. No. Everything else in Ghana, women... Honorable, which law is that? I'm right. Which law is that? The only thing that you see that is one man... Honorable Doyo.
I find her comment, one man, one wife, with the emphasis that this is the only solution to achieving affirmative action. Mr. Speaker, there are Muslims in Ghana, there are Muslims in Parliament. Our religious practices does not sit in tandem with her thoughts and thinking.
And what about customary law?
And even customary law, Mr. Speaker. So to allow these words to stay in the Hansard will be repugnant to my Muslim values, belief, and practice.
Let's take you back to the court where a three-member panel of the Court of Appeal has set timelines to hear a request from Dr. Kesiel Atoforsen and Richard Jakpa in the ambulance trial, challenging the High Court's order for them to open their defense in the ongoing case. My colleague Latif Idris is in court. He joins us with more. Latif, the two accused who we're talking about, Dr. Atoforsen and Richard Jakpa, have already opened their defense. So why this application before the Court of Appeal?
You are right to ask this question, Aisha. But essentially what is happening is that Dr. Kesiel Atoforsen and Richard Jakpa are trying to prevent a trial.
Right. That's Latif Idris, who is joining us from the court. Latif Idris, hello, Latif.
Hello, Aisha, can you hear me?
Right, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, so Aisha, what I'm saying is that Dr. Kesiel Atoforsen and Richard Jakpa are only trying to stop a sale that has already taken off. That is the ongoing trial. They are trying to prevent it, but it's already taken off and it's at the latter part of it. So when the High Court ruled that Dr. Keselato Forson and Richard Jakpa had a case to answer, they went to the appeals court. This was last year. They went to the appeals court and prayed the court to declare that they did not cause financial loss to the state, one, and they did not deliberately misapply state property. Those were the two counts leveled against them at the High Court, and then they went to the appeals court for that to be taken off them. So now Forson has already closed his case. You are aware of that. Richard Jakpa is in the box and is being cross-examined by prosecution. And so what they are seeking for the appeals court to do, I do not know how that will play out once the determination is made. But what they try to prevent has already happened, and the case is at its final stages here at the High Court. Richard Jakpa, we understand, is already in the witness box answering questions from the prosecution. He is expected to get back into the witness box tomorrow, but as you know now, the Attorney General and his team are not in town, and so it is highly unlikely that the cross-examination of Richard Jakpa will come off tomorrow. But we are looking at Thursday when the court reconvenes, and then prosecution will get the opportunity to continue with the cross-examination of Richard Jakpa. But the long and short is that Dr. Keselato Forson and Richard Jakpa are in the appeals court trying to overturn the decision of the High Court that has seen Richard Jakpa and Dr. Keselato Forson mounting the witness box to give their own verdict of whether or not they willfully caused financial loss to the state in the processes leading up to the purchase of the ambulances, the first 50 batch of the ambulances, and also whether or not they deliberately misapplied state property to the tune of some 2.37 million euros. And that is what the trial at the High Court is all about.
Latif Idris,
and Richard Jakpa are
Latif Idris, thanks so much for the update. Definitely will bring you more from the High Court as the case unfolds. Let's do more. Professor of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Lord Mensah, says Ghana's conclusion of the debt restructuring with official creditors is a signal that the country's economic outlook will improve, but is expressing doubts about the feasibility of the cedi appreciating within a short period. Finance Minister Mohamed Amin Adam announced yesterday that Ghana's debt restructuring program with its official creditors has officially come to an end. According to him, not only has the government restructured its $5.1 billion with the creditors, but has also concluded restructuring of $13.1 billion with Eurobond holders. He spoke at a town hall meeting in the UK, where the said government has saved the country $8 billion.
Even with the difficulties we are facing today, COVID, Russia, Ukraine war, the whole world suffering from these issues, your government is growing the Ghanaian economy. The Ghanaian economy is growing every day. The NDC says we are not developing, that nothing is happening. And I just want to give you a few figures on what is happening. So in 2022, the size of our economy, what we call GDP, gross domestic product, was 614 billion Ghana cedis. In 2023, the size of the economy was 841 billion Ghana cedis. From 614 to 841 billion Ghana cedis, just 2022 and 2023. If the government is doing nothing, the economy will not grow. And of course, it's not only the government, the private sector is also doing a lot. Those of you who are sending remittances, to Ghana, you are all contributing to this economic growth. During the NDC time, the GDP contracted. 2015, 2016, the GDP contracted. In dollar terms, from $64 billion to $60 billion. What happened with the MPP? We took it from the $60 billion, and by the end of 2023, the size of the GDP was $80 billion. Nana Akufo-Addo and your government added $20 billion to the size of the economy. In fact, this year, 2024, Ghana is going to cross the 1 trillion Ghana cedi mark in terms of the size of the GDP. We are going to take it from 841 billion to 1.2 trillion Ghana cedis. That is an economy that is growing in spite of all the challenges that we are talking about. And this is reflecting in our standards of living. What we call per capita income. If they were to distribute Ghana's money, Ghana's GDP amongst us, how will we share it? It increased. In 2016, it was 7,000 Ghana cedis. By 2018, it increased to 9,800 Ghana cedis. By the end of 2023, it increased to 25,000 Ghana cedis. In dollar terms, we have increased the per capita income from $1,800 in 2016 to $2,400 by the end of 2023. That is an economy that is growing. And so if somebody tells you we are doing nothing, please tell the person to go and see the figures. For per capita income alone, from 1,800 to 2,400, is no mean achievement. Now we come to...
We can now listen to Professor of Finance from the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Lord Mensah, who says the minister's projections of the cedi appreciating within a short period is not feasible.
The restructuring at this time, the agreement that we've gotten can only give us a signal, to the economy as far as our exchange rate is concerned, as far as all the other economic indicators that are tied to, debt service is concerned. So talking about inflation and other things. But you see, this is just a signal. When you achieve a restructuring, it does not necessarily mean that, your economy is going to be on a good footing, in a sense that after the restructuring, you are now going to service your debt. And I'm asking myself, when, the finance minister announced the agreement that, look, we've gotten, a restructuring agreement with Euro bondholders and at the same time, the OCC, which is the official, main creditors, commercial creditors. So effectively, if we should resume our debt payment after the, restructuring, how would the economy look like? Those are the questions we need to ask ourselves. But as we speak now, we are not servicing our external debt, but we can see the exchange rate, the cedi depreciating against the dollar and all the other major currencies. So after, achieving this restructuring, where are we going to cough the dollars? And I heard the finance minister talk about saving Ghana about 8 billion cedis. Why did you go in for debt restructuring? You went in for debt restructuring because you don't have the money. You see a short-term stability, but then the reality will dawn on us when we receive the IMF inflow and at the same time, we start servicing our debt.
Noctong MP Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has formally written to the Social Security and National Insurance Trust demanding evidence of Rock City's GRA tax clearance certificate as he challenges its validity due to their unified unfiled tax returns for the year 2021 and 2022. Ablakwa argues that based on SNNIT's pre-qualification criteria, Rock City's bid should have been disqualified. Excerpts of this letter I'll be sharing with you reads evidence of Rock City's GRA tax clearance certificates, as Rock City could not have produced a valid one during the tender because they had not filed their tax returns for 2021 and 2022 per the provisions of the Income Tax Act 2025 Act 896 and SNNIT's own pre-qualification criteria. attached, the Rock City bid should have been disqualified. 1, I am further requesting a copy of the full evaluation report, and then the minutes of all tender committee meetings have also been demanded. I expect SNNIT to comply with the RTI law and submit the requested information in the spirit of transparency and accountability, and as required in the pursuit of my constitutional mandates of the parliamentary oversight, I shall keep you all informed on the outcome of the state capture. State capture shall be defeated, and that's how he concludes. The Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists is demanding the immediate absorption of unemployed medical laboratory scientists. Amid shortages of lab scientists in hospitals, several professionals remain jobless. Ashanti Regional Chairman of the association, Dr. Eric Kofi-Edu, says the current labor force is overburdened, leading to operational compromises in laboratory services. Here's a report by Clinton Yeboah.
What we are asking for is not only money, apart from the few allowances that we've asked for, which we are due. We have our brothers and our sisters who also finished the university, some other institutions 4 or 5 years back, and are still in the house waiting for the government to give way for them to be employed. So we plead on the government to also help our brothers and our sisters who are home, who have wasted a lot of money to train themselves in school. I mean, to also have the opportunity and working for the government. You know, it is sad that you go to some hospitals and you see one scientist in a whole hospital doing the menial jobs that he's supposed to do. But you see, all these things count on the mistakes that we talk about every day. So when these people are employed, they can also comprehend the staff strength to also avoid all these mistakes that happen.
Dr. Edu also indicated that the compromises at hospitals pose a risk to maintaining high standards of patient care.
I keep saying that, you see, the people that we render services are human beings and not animals. There are some labs that deal with animals, those veterinary labs and all that. So if mistakes happen, you can easily rectify them. But we render services to human beings. And if I sit in the lab and I make a mistake, it is tantamount to death. Especially if I'm giving blood to somebody and I'm not able to group and cross-match well. I'm killing. And so if I sit and I'm not comfortable, if I have issues to deal with, it doesn't give me a sound mind to work. And so I think that the earlier the government, intervene to this, I think that the better for all of us.
Meanwhile, the Medical Laboratory Professional Workers Union has temporarily suspended its ongoing strike. Members are expected to return to work on Monday, June 24, to prepare their materials and officially begin rendering services on June 25. The decision follows a meeting between the union, the National Labour Commission, and the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Reporting for Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
We're still live on Joy News today. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest coming from the world of business.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the business segment on Joy News today with me, Pius Kojobaka. Government registered a marginal oversubscription of Treasury bill sale to the tune of over 30.0%. There is more in this report.
Liquidity has been very tight on the money market for some time now, despite the government recording a 1.38% of the T-bills auction. Per the result of the auction, investors showed more interest in the 91-day bill than the other financial instrument. About 2.761 billion Ghana cedis, representing 76.61%, came from the free 3-month instrument. The uptake was the same as the bid standard. For the 182-day bill, 660.62 million Ghana cedis of the bids were tendered and all were accepted. About 182.4 million Ghana cedis were also tendered for the 364-day bill. Again, all the bids were accepted. For the interest rate, the yield on the 91-day bill went up slightly to 24.86% from 24.85% the previous week. That of the 182-day bill dipped by 2 basis points to 26.80%. Similarly, the yield on the 364-day bill also went down to 27.78% from the 27.81% the preceding week.
Now, the Chief Executive of Strategic Communications Africa, Esther Koba, is calling for a holistic leadership approach to champion socio-economic development. According to her, effective leadership coupled with an inclusive approach to governance will be a game changer in the development of the country. She spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the 30th anniversary of Ghana's premier communications and reputation company, Stratcom.
Public relations and communications have been driven largely by the changes in technology and society. As these forces continue to shape the way we communicate, public relations is expected to evolve and adapt to meet the changing needs of organizations. In Ghana, one of the organizations that has pioneered innovation and championed excellence in this space is Stratcom Africa. On the occasion of its 30th anniversary, Chief Executive of Strategic Communications Africa, Esther Koba, called for the use of effective PR to champion socio-economic development.
Understanding the realities of the people whose socio-economic circumstances we want to impact is key. Recognizing the context in which they are operating, whether it's the political context, the social context, etc., the technological context, we need to analyze. But what it is that if you don't take care as a leader, because you are named a leader, you automatically feel you have the solutions. A lot of the times, leaders fail because they fail to see solutions in the people they lead.
Madam Esther Koba shares the Stratcom story.
It's been exciting, difficult at times, but you don't grow in comfort. When there's discomfort, you're pushed to grow. And so we've used that discomfort to grow where there have been challenges. And where we have succeeded, we have not rested on our oars. We have allowed the success to encourage us to do even more.
The special guest of honor at the 30th anniversary launch, Alhassan Andani, called on corporate organizations to prioritize effective communications and public relations. As the power
of comms, and that's what Auntie Esther was almost concluding on, is not fully understood, and thank you for trying to project it in the manner it should be projected. I have had the privilege of being what they call the top 50 leaders of Standard Bank or Standard Chartered Group, and every year, sometime September, we gathered in London to brainstorm group strategy, Africa strategy, and you often started with a comms presentation.
As the pioneering indigenous communications and reputations company, Strategic Communications Africa has successfully spearheaded numerous projects in Ghana and Africa. The theme for the 30th anniversary celebration is 30 years of dynamic impact.
And that's it for business for now. At 1 p.m. we'll be here with the marketplace. Do make a date. Sports is next.
Time now to bring you sports on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. This year's Bankers League has been scheduled to start on July 20. This competition is designed to inculcate a healthy lifestyle among corporate team members. There's more in this report. This year's competition is the 5th edition of the Bankers League, and it is expected to have about 12 teams participating. Prince Charles Kosanko, the coordinator for the league, describes this year's event as a special one.
We have 9 banks that have confirmed to us. And this year we are having a series of tournaments this year. We've done it one package. We are having the gala that is coming on first on the 6th of July. And then the league starts 20th of July, and then we'll have the Champions Cup in November. So this year is 3 tournaments in a full season that we are playing together. So as of now, with the gala, we have 9 banks which have confirmed. We are waiting for, I think, 3 or 4 more to give us confirmed. So we are expecting about 12 banks for this season.
National Investment Bank, defending champions of the competition, will win it again, according to Kweku Gansa, assistant captain of the team.
Honestly, we don't actually train. We've played as a unit for a long time, so we just go there, put out the performance and win. It's that easy. We are the Real Madrid of Bankers League. It's not like we are boasting. We are the Real Madrid of Bankers League, so it's natural. We are having the talent. I've taken the goal king on 2 occasions, so, we'll meet them.
Also, Shadrach Lomote echoed the position of his captain.
Yeah, just as my colleague has said, as National Investment Bank, Investors FC, we are ready for all other banks, especially Republic Bank, and we want to assure them that this time around, we are keeping the cup. The cup is not leaving NIB. They should get ready, and we'll meet on the field, as my team captain has said. So I wish all the other teams the best of luck, but kudos to National Investment Bank.
The team manager of Republic Bank, Fritz Mate, says they are out to claim the trophy from the National Investment Bank, while his captain Gerald Kwanzaa promised to match the might of NIB.
We are more than ready. Even we're having this interview at the reigning champions' place of work. That shows how ready we are. I want to tell them that this year the competition is for us. We are more than ready.
We are not threatened. In fact, we are actually, as he said, he's been the best striker. I'm also the best defender. So on that day, if we meet, we are going to show him that, yes, we came really prepared for him. And as there's a local balance, we say that agrone form. So we'll not talk too much. He said a lot. He said it's been that easy. He said it's been that easy. So don't worry, I won't talk much. We'll meet on the field and we'll show him what we've got.
Also, for Consolidated Bank, their team manager, Benjamin Hooper, and his deputy are optimistic their team will be ready to take on the best in this year's competition.
G has started training. Last year we were 3rd. 2 years ago we were 3rd. Last year we won the best goalkeeper. We had the team with the least number of conceded goals. So this year we expect that we'll improve on our performance.
Yeah, I think, the last slot we have for last year, I think we performed well, but not up to expectation. This time around, we've come fully prepared. As my colleague said, we have started training seriously towards this exercise.
So what should we expect?
We are winning the trophy this year. I can bet you. We are seriously planning and we are working towards winning. This year is for CBG.
The Bankers League will be launched on July 6 with balloting of teams scheduled for July 13. The league itself will start on July 20 and end on November 2, 2024. And that is your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. We appreciate your time.
Good afternoon, you're welcome to the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Samaya. Now to our first story, Ghana has hit the tourism jackpot and in a spot among the top 10 tourist destinations in Africa. And this is according to the 2024 Tourism and Travel and Tourism Development Index report. We have more.
According to the rankings, Ghana stands as the 9th most preferred destination for tourists on the continent. South Africa leads the African rankings, closely followed by Mauritius, Botswana, and Kenya. On the global stage, South Africa holds the 55th position, making it the highest-ranked African nation. Meanwhile, Mauritius and Ghana rank 57th and 106th globally, respectively, with Mauritius leading in Eastern Africa and Ghana in West Africa. Over the years, tourism has played a vital role in bolstering Ghana's economy. The Travel and Tourism Development Index report notes that Sub-Saharan Africa has seen significant improvement in tourism performance since 2019. Africa's travel and tourism sector is set to return to pre-pandemic levels by 2024, driven by the lifting of travel restrictions and a surge in demand. In 2024, Africa achieved the highest score for travel and tourism socio-economic impact. With these promising developments, Ghana is not just a goldmine of culture and history, but also a rising star in African tourism landscape. For Joy News, I am Jacqueline Ansama Yeboah.
One love, from Bole to Accra, one soul. Jenina City, one do. Kelewele Nipaya, one go. Badamande, they want to.
Well, just 24 hours after dropping his single, Kilos Milos, Ghanaian musician Black Sherif shot to the top of the Apple Music Top 100 Ghana chart. What does the song mean to him? Well, we caught up with him at an exclusive visit to an Infinite shop at Accra Circle to find out.
Released on Wednesday, June 19, 2024, Kilos Milos has sent waves of excitement through Black Sherif's fan base. This latest release follows the success of his previous hit, titled Shut Up, which became a street anthem. Reflecting on his journey, Blacko shared with us the deeper meaning behind the Kilos Milos and what it represents for him and his fans.
Kilos Milos, say who you are, don't forget. You understand me? Because I'm 22. 4 years, like me real high school, 17 years old, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5 years outside.
Personally, I've seen and done a lot. Sometimes you go through stuff and it seems you might not make a comeback from it. But then you do. I want you to remember, you should never forget who you are.
About not just mine, because me sure say me one entity. There are people who draw inspiration from me and stuff. Until the Emimi who know, I'm privileged to see that and alchemize that energy to spread, turn them into inspiration, then stories. Make me try and win some.
But it's not just his music that's making headlines. Black Sherif has been turning heads with his unique fashion sense, sparking conversations on social media. He revealed that his love for fashion predates his music career.
The
fashion thing didn't start today. My mom has been sewing since time immemorial. Even without music, I still dress up. Even if I were to be a plumber, I'll still dress up.
Yeah, and you can make me outside. Coming morning crowd, dear me, be almost a shentar. Yeah, promo crowd wants me pull up actively. My way of expressing how I feel in a moment or something be what are they wear.
Are we to see you having any clothing line in time soon?
Inshallah. Inshallah.
As Blacko continues to dominate the music chart and influence the fashion scene, his journey is a testament to staying true to one's passion and creativity.
On that note, it's a wrap for the showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline Ansama Yeboah. Over to you, Aisha. Blacko's dressing.
Wow, that's an interesting one.
Know,
but
right?
I'm more interested in the Ghana becoming 9 on the Africa.
Yeah, in Africa and #1 in West Africa.
In terms of tourism, that's a very welcoming news. Thank you so much for bringing us showbiz. That'll be it for the bulletin. Log on to myjournline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.